I missed my cue. Hi, I'm Steve from Mac84, and welcome to another thing. How's everyone doing? Testing out some new stuff today, so if something's wrong, let me know. New camera, which I think is a little bit too much power for this system. There might be a little bit of lag or sync or whatever. Nothing I can do about that. We're going to have to fuss with the lights because, yeah, that's not going to work. I need one of those ring light dealies that all the kids use. But yeah, whatever. Anywho, how's everyone doing? Let's see who we have in the chat here. We have Francois, we have TomTom Computer, we have Sam, we have Adam, we have Rendino, we have Joe, we have Happy Mac, Pterodyne is here. One Bit Fever Dreams, of course. Let's see, Garth Beagle is here. Hello, Garth. And let's see, Jay's here, Shady Robot's here, Greg's here, What is here, Aaron is here, Brian's here. Oops, it jumped again. I always hate when it does that. Bruce is here, Charquez is here, Jeremy's here, Rudy is here. Hello, Rudy. Aaron, I said Aaron already. Well, you get another one. And Jacob. So, hello, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. Now, elephant in the room. Yes, the lighting is, it's absolutely terrible. I love all the reviews for this camera. This is an Anker C200. This is like a $50 camera. Thank you, Garth, for recommending it. Only thing I don't like is every single review of these cameras just goes, oh yeah, when you're in OBS, just click on the configuration setting and you're good to go. Doesn't work like that on a Mac, at least from what I could tell. If I go to camera and I double click on the camera, I get absolutely bupkis. If I go to uncheck, well, do not uncheck things while you're live. Anyway, if I uncheck use preset, it gives me a thingamajig I could use, but none of the color settings are there or anything like that. So I could use a program to manually do that, but that's not really going to help too much. And I could try if I open it up just for the funsies here. Yeah, I think what it would be under, like the where'd it go? Yeah, some of these cameras let you do like the here's the exposure. Yeah, it's like it's way too. If I bring it down, that's too dark. I mean, that's okay, but then if I turn this light on so I could see, it's like not so. No, that's not too bad. Yeah, let's keep it at that for now, huh? How about that? Got some nice contrast in here. I want to yell at Bruce for something, just because I need to yell at somebody. I'm not to blame, obviously. The clip of my stupid Rode camera thing, microphone, broke. My fat ass probably broke it or something. Yeah, I need a front light. I have one that's like that big. I don't think that's gonna cut it. So I need something that's gonna go around here. But we'll figure that out. But yeah, so now you can see the big CRT in the background and all that fun stuff. But I am using the Rode wireless mic today, so hopefully that'll work. I have about half battery. We should be okay. If I go out, let me know. Unless you just want to hear me not talk anymore. Yeah, well, I'm running Mojave, so. Oh, they better, Bruce. The money you pay for the damn things. Yeah, I'm running Mojave on a 2012 Mac Pro, so until I replace this machine, yeah, that's not happening. Anywho, it's been a while. So, yeah, I haven't been able to stream as much. I've been very busy. This weekend's going to be super busy. I have some collaborations planned. That's all I'm allowed to say at this point in time. So that'll be exciting. But I'm going to be pretty slammed this weekend. And also fixing stuff for repairs for some like high priority, need it yesterday type things that another YouTuber is asking me. So, and I'm getting gunk all over my hands because of this this hard drive thing I tried to fuss with over the weekend, which was part of another video that I just did not get out in time. So, yeah, life is life, but what are you gonna do? So anyway, oh, that's excellent, Bruce. I'll have to talk to them. But I am loving the microphone so far. Very happy with it. What was I going to say? A lot of projects going on. I'm doing a video about the Blue SCSI version 2, so that'll be out hopefully soon. I was shooting footage behind me and didn't get to finish that. So that happens. Hello, Jeff. How's it going? And yeah, so let me go over a few things here. First off, yeah, this is for Fog Wraith. Got one of these off eBay per his suggestion. This is goes hand in hand with the other piece that's on the shelf there. But this is essentially audio clips to use with this Macintosh audio program that, you know, makes sounds when your dialog boxes come up and stuff. So they had a Star Trek Next Gen one, and this is like volume 2. These are like more sound clips you could buy. So essentially it was like, you know, an expansion pack or something like that. Thought it was really cool. It's going to be archived on Macintosh Garden. It is sealed, although it's quite crushed. Somebody said on it or something. But there you go. So that'll be coming to your Macintosh Garden sometime soon. And some other goodies that have graced my desk fairly recently. Ron from Ron's Computer Videos has been making these little dealies. This is a battery, what is it called? Remote battery. And so the idea is you put a CR2032 or whatever battery in there. And then you run leads from the left here to your machine, and essentially you have a battery that sits outside of your machine. So if you forget to take the battery out in 20 years and it explodes or leaks or fries or whatever, you're okay. You don't have to worry about that. This is a very early revision. That little switch was wired incorrectly, so I just took that off. But more interestingly, he has a dual version here. And so this is great for like a Macintosh 2 or something like that. Come on, camera. Yeah, you could do it. Don't look at my face. Look at Ron's face. Look at Ron's face. So this is a double battery version, and you could see there was still a problem with the switches in this early revision. So I took it upon myself to hotwire it correctly. So yeah, I just made some minor changes to the way those switches work, and now it works great. So yeah, how about that? So these will be cool. I'm going to put one of these in my Macintosh 2 or 2X because that'll be very useful for systems that require the batteries to start up. Yeah, you did not miss anything, Colin. We are just saying hello and getting started. Yes, more money, please. Oh boy. Yeah, so there's a YouTube membership thing that is fairly new. I don't think I only have 10 people or so. It's like an alternative to Patreon. If you don't have a Patreon account, if you don't want to support me via there, but you want to support me via YouTube membership, you're welcome to do so. I try and give both supporters from Patreon or YouTube memberships the same perks. So early video access to draft previews and stuff like that, and such. So there you go. Good question. Good question. Well, this, I forget the diode parameter there, but oh, Jeremy, thank you very much for the super chat. Eep, excellent. And you're a supporter as well. I mean, of course. So thanks, Jeremy. Appreciate it. And hello, Sitek. How's it going? Thank you so much for the super chat. Greatly appreciate it. I don't know what diodes Ron is using on that, but I'm sure he'll have a post or something on Tinker Different when he fixes some of the bugs of that little design, which is tricky because, you know, whenever you create something, you're like, oh yeah, that's it, it's done, and then you know, try it out in person. It's like, oh, the batteries are short-circuiting. Okay, cool. So this repair here today, we're going to be looking at a Macintosh SE 30. And it's not the only SE 30 I've ever looked at, unfortunately. These things come across my desk quite often. And this one actually is perplexing me quite a bit. So I wanted to do this on a stream. It doesn't look too bad, to be honest. The chip all the way to the left by the PDS slot has a little green on it. Nothing we can't take care of. And this diode might need a new trace. But what's interesting is it does work, just not with this ROM. For whatever reason, if I use this stock ROM, which looks weird, but the client assured me it worked in his other SE30. If I replace that with the Big Mess of Wires ROM, it's fine. If I leave that in, I get a Siemens Mac. So quite interesting, but I wanted to take a look at it under the microscope. Have not done that yet. He said it was cleaned. Not sure how well cleaned it was, or if it was ultrasonically cleaned or what, but I will be taking a look at this today under the microscope, and we're going to try and see if we can fix it. No, thankfully not battery damage. It has been recapped with tantalum capacitors. Of course, I will be observing that work, making sure everything is okay. But let's take a look at it under the microscope and see what's going on here. First, let me just set up this view, make sure I have the right camera and everything, because I did just finally get a new webcam, which, you know, I should have done ages ago. Look at that. It reset all the parameters. Thank you, OBS. That's exactly what I wanted you to do. That's not exactly any thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I need to work like with actual lighting. So like not like this big shop light above my head that reflects and bounces off things. All right, so let me put me in the corner there. Hi. All right, so there we are. Excellent. Well, we're going to try that, but I just want to take a look here because I haven't looked at this under the microscope, and I think I see some damage by some of the diodes. So I just wanted to check what was going on here. It looks like there's some corrosion. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, look at that. That's fine. That's just fine. Oh boy. Oh, great. Well, I bet you that's still making a connection. Well, this, I don't know. This looks like almost like a clean break. But I've been proven wrong before. Whatever this is, it is really eating into there. I think this is for the battery, for the PRAM. I think that basically lets voltage only go one way, if I'm recalling correctly. Yeah, I don't think that's actually touching. Well, we have a tool for that called our multimeter, or multimeter rather. Oh, Garth, good luck with no power. That sucks. May come back real soon. Nice crackling. Hopefully it wasn't my microphone. Yeah, it shouldn't affect startup, but I pushed the wrong thingamajig. Highwheat's KM601 multimeter, not sponsored, but Bruce could do the commercials for them. Yeah, I'm going to do what Bruce was saying in a moment. I just wanted to take a look at this really quickly under the microscope here. I mean, this will have to be fixed if, you know, we're going to be using the PRAM battery with the in our testing later on. Just make sure the real-time clock works and it saves once we shut it off and all that fun stuff. I'm sure the owner of this board would want that functionality. Wow, come on. Really? There we go. Yeah, and that's... Are you kidding me? All right, there's still a weak connection there. It's still going. This not, though. That's not doing it, though. Let's take a look, see what's going on here. Oh, yeah, that's great. Lovely. Oh, that's a good idea, Bruce. Instead of going all the way back around the horn. See, I should actually, like, read the little booklet. Oh, that's beautiful. Look how black and corroded that is. Let's see. Sorry, it's so hard to operate when I'm so zoomed in here. Yeah, all right, well, somehow, still making a connection. Hey, Ron, just gave you a plug for your little battery doodad. If you have a link you want to share about that, please slap it in the comment section there. If not, I know you're working on other revisions of that, so there you go. But hey, Dana, how's it going? On your lunch break. Well, I'm glad I could, you know, eat faster. Go, provide some entertainment to you. Oh boy. All right. So I'm just going to take a quick tour around this board. Just want to see if I missed anything else. Yeah, it does seem to be some corrosion in there and in there, so we'll have to take a look at that. But since the board has already been cleaned and recapped, you know, I'm very curious as to, you know, the full history of this board. We have some lovely splashes of solder, as Bruce would say. Yeah, some goo between the legs here. This could definitely use with an ultrasonic, even if it's had one already. I could see, oh yeah, look, right between here. Let's zoom in here. I mean, that could just be like crud. That is fine. Let me turn the light on higher. But that could be corrosive in nature. Who knows? Either way, gotta clean that up. Hey, Mike, how's it going? So, yeah. Plug for VCF East. Ooh, look at that. More solder. Which is going to be going on in April. VCFED.org. Find out more information about that. I'll be there. Mike of Mike's Mac Shack will be there. Ron will be there. Sean of Action Retro will be there. A bunch of other geeky sporks. So please visit if you are in the New Jersey area or not too far from it. I guarantee you will see a lot of old systems there. Oh, look at all the crud under this chip. Yeah, that can't be good. And same with this one. I mean, it might just be flux. I have no clue, but this doesn't look like it has been soldered recently. Like these don't look it, but I could see all sorts of crud under these chips. Just look at that. So again, I don't know what this is. It looks like old flux or something, or glue. I have no clue. I have no clue. Oh boy. Sorry I'm not paying enough attention to the chat. I am eyes down at the board. If you have a question, feel free to repeat it. But yeah, I have a feeling we're going to be taking off a lot of these chips. And what is this? It's like, that must be flux. That must be what that is. Yes, Greg. Same bat channel, same bat time. Or however that goes. I'm dropping things left and right. And I overfilled the thingamajig. Just hit it with some isopropyl alcohol and see if that makes any difference of wiping away whatever this is. I mean, if it's just flux, that's fine, but I don't know. I don't know what that is. It doesn't look like capacitor juice. It's very thick. Almost like glue. So, but I don't know. Really don't know. But I do have replacement chips, so if we do have to put one on, we could do that. But yeah, not sure exactly what's going on there. All right, let's, yeah, I apologize. The microscope camera is not as sharp as what I see. I do have to do some cleaning because there's some flaring of the surface and all that stuff. So apologies for that. I'll try and make it as nicely as possible. That does look like flux. Yeah, I'm just curious why there. I mean, because to my eyes, at least, it does not look like any of these have been resoldered. I mean, they could have, and it just has been sitting there so long they've corroded themselves. But this looks like, you know, some old solder. So, especially this little leg here, which I'm probably going to touch and it's going to disintegrate. Yeah, but I mean, the strangest bit of all, I mean, we have a bunch of green here we're going to have to deal with. But the strangest bit is the system boots fine with the big mess of wires ROM. So I am going to do what Bruce suggested in a moment and make sure that if we hold down that ROM, because I did do that before, but it didn't seem to make any difference, if it does make any difference. You're finding more little solder balls and stuff here. So this can certainly use the cleaning, especially some of this here. I'm going to guess this is non-leaded solder. It just has that look to it. One of the spots I always like to check on an SE30 board is right here. So below this cap, this trace here, and then this trace here, which goes under this cap and connects to that leg. I always want to make sure these things are actually connected because like that radius of where these old capacitors were, you never know what type of leakage you're dealing with here. We have a little pad that has shifted a little bit. That does seem like it's connected, but we'll be touching everything up. Oh, goodness. Good old style writers. Had to get new mucks for the UE8 and UG8, all dead. Yeah. All right, cool. So let's take a little look here. I'm going to set up this system here behind me. So just give me a moment. And we will see if we get any result by holding down that ROM in a particular direction. So let's go to the main camera here. I wish I could zoom this in. I'm not that fancy yet. I do have an above cam. Yeah, I guess I could do that. Ah, boy. So we're going to use the above cam upside down, and then we'll swap it in software. So let me zoom that in a little bit. That's too much. That's all right. So let's do that. Yes, thankfully those chips are still available. All right, and then we have to rotate this. Hey, how about that? All righty. So we have our little testing rig of an SE30 here. And make some space for this logic board. Move some of my tools and junk here. Hey, look, it's the top of my head. Oh, there goes the floppy MU. I swear its magnet is like attached. A magnet of it is attached for the floor. It just loves it. It just loves it. Hey, you can see where I got the bump on my head. Right there. Yeah, fun times. All right, so let's stop inspecting my hairline, or lack thereof. And see what's going on with this bad boy. All right. I'll move this keyboard out of the way, because we're not going to need that right at this moment in time. Oh boy, yes, that's a different type of hair. The bunnies are elsewhere. All right, let's try to remember how this sound goes in. Probably the opposite way. Hopefully it doesn't blow it up. All right, and power cord is over here. Make sure I don't flash any of you folks. Studly. I thought you said sturdy hairline. Hopefully it's sturdy. Hold. All right, so we're gonna turn this on and see what happens. 3, 2, 1. So no chime. We did hear a speaker pop, but no chime. And he was saying what happened to him is he would get the cursor in a corner and that's it. Now this is actually not CMACing. Before it was, but I've since swapped the memory. Well, it would help if this was plugged in. All right, so let's shut this off. Let's plug our keyboard in here. Really? Let's try this again. 3, 2, 1. Yep, we're getting cable was loose. So the mouse does move. If you can't see that, the mouse is moving. But what we're going to do is swap the ROM. Yeah, this clip is kind of on its way out. It's half broken. And it's probably going to break as I'm ejecting this, but that's just what happens in these clips. I could 3D print a little dealie to hold it in. But you could use a rubber band too. Wouldn't it be funny if it was just as simple as that? Let's turn this on. Ignore the weird startup chime. I will, Bruce. We will switch it back. I'm just curious because I added the other memory the fellow sent me. And I'm curious if it goes past this point with that extra memory. Yeah, it does. How about that? So let's boot up, see if it recognizes the memory. Yeah, the SE30 Big Mess of Wires ROM thingamajig replacement has a different chime. I might have the positive and negative swapped on the speaker, or maybe the sound chip is just sad on this. Who knows? But it does appear to be booting. Sometimes I don't know if it's just me, but sometimes when I'm booting from the Big Mess of Wires chip, it either does or it doesn't. You know. I think this had 8 megs or 16 megs. I'll have to see if it completes its boot up here. And if you hear a squealing noise, that is the analog board. That's not related to this issue. So 8 megs. All right. Now this is interesting. If I launch SCSI Probe, the system freezes. And I don't think I was getting it to boot via SCSI. Let me try with our good old friend, the blue SCSI. Let's see. We have SD card in that one? No. Let me see if I have one in here. Yes, that should work. Let's try it out. So we get lights on the blue SCSI, which I did get before last time I tried. But I'm just curious if it will read anything. So booting off the ROM. That's the multimeter yelling at me. Turn off, please. Thank you. Oh, I forgot to talk about this. Thank you to Mike of Mike's Mac Shack for telling me to look at this. It's a Rostrop something or other card. And I think they let it go for like, I think I bought it for $40 or so, because it has one cap that's broken off the back. So that should be hopefully, yeah, here it is. Capacitor 42 is snapped off of the back. So hopefully that'll be a quick fix. Yeah, so nothing shows up as on the SCSI bus here at all. And if I load SCSI Probe, nothing. It just freezes. So, or not. Okay, bus not terminated. Interesting. Maybe we have a fuse or a bad trace by the SCSI chip or something like that. So we'll have to take a look. Mac Classic works. It was the EEPROM. Hey, CS Waffy, how's it going? Apples Anonymous, hello. All right, so interesting. All right, so let's shut this off. Let's try with the stock ROM. And let's hold that in. I thought I saw some corrosion, but it was just the shadows tricking me. All right, so I'm just going to hold this ROM. Still no chime. Yeah, unless I have one of the jumpers wrong on the blue SCSI, which could be true, because I do mess around with them quite often, but... Yeah, interesting. Very interesting. No, this is a SE30 logic board, but the case is an SE, but it doesn't matter. It's the same analog circuitry and all that stuffs. Very interesting. Let me take a look at this. Yeah, that plastic is about to fall off of that ROM socket. Just feel any chips, see if anything's getting too warm or anything like that. Yeah, let's see if I fudged anything up with this. No, we're good with that, so that should be fine. So it complaining about the SCSI bus is a little concerning. Let's take a look here. We'll make some room on the desk. We will be testing again with this ROM. I just want to get a closer look, see if there's anything in the socket. Your eyes can deceive you. Don't trust them. All right, let's see. I mean, there's some little flakes of solder and junk, so you could clean that out. Nothing too big, but I mean, you don't want any of this crap in an area like that. Could bridge something or do something silly. Yeah, some of this I can't even reach, so we'll have to ultrasonically clean the board, of course, but not seeing anything that stands out as like a sore thumb. This is the plastic that's broken. Let's see if I can focus on it. Yeah, so this piece here is just split down the middle. And so that clip would usually hold in the ROM sim. But let's take a look. I'm curious about the SCSI chip too. Hey, William, how's it going? And Veronica explains, hey, how's it going? Are these stock cables coming from the SE? I just picked one up, but the stock cables are not long enough for me to play. Ah, okay, so I'll give you a little hint, and this is something I just stumbled upon because I'm crazy. An ATX extension cable is all that is. I'm not using all of it. I'm just using like a few of the pins, but if you just finagle it a bit, it will go right in there. And so just an ATX extension cable. The one I have, I think, is like 9 or 10 inches. Get as long as you can, like a 12-inch or 13-inch one or something like that. Having some RAM issues. Is it an SE or an SE30? I did see the thumbnail, but I have not watched it yet. But if it's an SE or an SE30, it could use the same extension cable. Somewhere, Bruce. Somewhere. But yeah, it's just a simple ATX cable. No, I had one somewhere. Oh wait, it's on the floor. This is a rather useless one. I don't like them being all one color. And you can't see because I'm tiny in the corner. But yeah, I mean, this would work fine. It's only going to use like that half of it. So, just be aware of that, but you'll be fine. Yeah, it is annoying to reassemble it each time, which is why I'm like, no. And I think what happened was I was dealing with a PC or something. And I'm like, that looks awfully like similar. And I'm just like, well, I wonder if I could use it as an extension. And it worked. I think I told Bruce about it, and slowly but surely people have been doing the same thing. It makes it loads easier. You can even do it on a Mac Classic. And just the analog board of the Classic and the SE, I think, output things a little bit differently. So you don't want to test a Classic board in an SE and vice versa. But the extension cord will still work great. So hopefully that'll work out for you. Hopefully that's a good tip. And if you have any questions, feel free to, find me on Tinker Different or Twitter or whatever. Just reach out. Be happy to try and help you diagnose your SE. Usually they don't have too many problems. But the SE30s are a bit finicky. So, oh, happy Mac. You are very welcome. Very happy to hear that. All right, cool. So let's take a look by some of these chips here. I'm just curious. I believe the Zilog is a SCSI controller. I could be wrong. But it looks like a lot of those... Oh, actually, it could be this one. Yeah, the NCR chip. That's it. Well, we do have a lot of green. We do have a lot of green around that chip. So that... I mean, everything is making a connection. But let's test the fuses there. You can't see because I'm not on a microscope view because I'm an idiot. Yeah, so... It's an SE, you're pretty sure. Okay, yeah, so Veronica, if that's an SE, if you're having memory issues, and I haven't seen the video, so I apologize, but if you're having memory issues, you should get negative 12 volts on the SE30 because the power supply is spitting it out. I have an SE30 power supply right here, and it says negative 12 volts. You can't see because I'm tiny. All right, there. So it's sending it to the computer. I don't know if it... I've had that happen on some machines where it doesn't register coming out of the floppy port. I don't know if that's just something weird or what, but yeah. So, I mean, it should. It's coming from the power supply. Whereas, wait, let me think. Yeah, it comes from the power supply, and then it comes from the analog board to the SE30 or the SE. Their schematic will prove me right or wrong. Yeah, for some reason, it just, at the floppy port, sometimes I don't get -12. On the older machines, I do. I'm sure you could measure it elsewhere, but I think -12 is only used maybe for the sound chip, or for, I think even less is just for the serial ports. So you might be okay. But yeah, Veronica, feel free to go into detail. We're going to be here for a few hours, so feel free to go into detail about your SE. We have a lot of smart cookies here. And feel free to make an account on tinkerdifferent.com. It's the hot new web form from a year or so ago that has a bunch of Apple fanatics like myself, Bruce of Brangus Creations, and a bunch of other smart people. So if you can't get your SE working, hopefully we can get yours working with the help of some smart folks. So I'm going to go ahead and start poking things with the multimeter here. Have you tried turning it off and on again? You know, Dana, that's what I didn't try. Darn it. All right, let's see if these fuses are intact. All right. The diode's not beeping, but I believe that is a good sign. All right, so let's just do some poking around here by the SCSI circuitry here. Make sure whatever's going on here, because there's some like goo here. Probably just flux or something like that, or residue from cleaning. I'll make sure everything is touching where it should. Don't worry, Bruce. I'll take it back just as quick as I granted it to you. Alrighty. A hush goes over the crowd as he probes the SCSI chip. See, there's like a solder blob on here. I'm not sure if previous work was done on this. I'm assuming. I mean, those points don't really go anywhere. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Picked up an SE, opened it up, removed the battery first time, got back together, got an error, sad Mac. Okay, I would check the memory slots first and foremost. And also there's a great PDF of a book. I think it's Dead Mac Scrolls is the name of it. You could find it for free on archive.org or elsewhere. Just do a search for that. Dead Mac Scrolls. They go into a lot of the memory issues. I'm not sure if the memory table specifically addresses the SE or the SE30, but that might give you some tips there. And okay, great. And so, but that sounds to me like a memory error. Now on the SE, there are 4 slots, and if you, is there 4 slots? Yeah, there are 4 slots. And I would just recommend just cleaning all of the contacts of both the memory modules and the memory slots, and just try different combinations and see what works. Oh, that's a lot of green there. I would start with that and just see if that makes any difference from there. I would start with just like whatever memory you have. I wouldn't buy anything just yet, because you might have a more sinister problem. I mean, it's rare. The SEs don't really have a problem because they don't really leak their capacitors as often. Ooh, that's very green. I bet you that's not touching anything at all. But that's where my hunch would be. Oh yeah, look at that. Delicious. That's still connected, I think. But I mean, there's just a lot of green around this. I mean, this will have to be ultrasonically clean for sure. If it has not been so already, I mean, I don't know what detergent or cleaning solution they used. but it's clearly not clean. A lot of green bits. Yeah, some great suggestions in the chat there. I would certainly try and use like a contact cleaner or isopropyl alcohol or deoxide or something like that, just to try and clean some of those areas up. I'm going to go ahead and clean some of this up with just a little cotton swab here. Just curious. I can't see where I am. There. Yeah, I've had less SEs to diagnose it because most of the time they just work right away. But this board has been sitting in the basement for a while. It's from Ben, and Ben sent this a while ago. I did test it briefly, and it like booted up just fine with the with my own ROMs. And then I put it to the side, and I'm revisiting it. He sent me an email to remind me of it. I'm like, oh geez, I have to get back to that. No, it's not gone through the dishwasher, thank goodness. You don't want to go through the dishwasher. I mean, if that's like the only thing you could do, I mean, look, it's your computer, you can do whatever you want to it, but I will say, not recommended. Your water has a bunch of nasty minerals and stuff like that that will probably just deposit themselves on the board and make things more of a mess for you. Hey, Starbuck and David Starbuck, how's it going? Yeah, this solder does not look too great. Usually I see something like this when there's still some goo on the board when solder has been applied, and it just, not that it's corroding, but it's like not exactly clean. So, yeah. Yeah. We got about 40 people or so watching. No notices you were streaming. Oh, well, you know, Slapman Blue, that's just YouTube doing its YouTube stuff. I have no control over notifications. Wish it did, but it don't. I don't. I just wanted to start streaming early because I know Eric from Eric's Edge, and I believe Justin D. Morgan will be streaming later this evening. So I did not want to stream over them. Now I do very earnestly try not to do that. I don't care if you have 100 subscribers or 1,000 subscribers. I do try not to stream over pals. You know, we have a very growing Macintosh community here, and I generally try, if I see someone else is scheduling for a stream, I generally try not to stream over them. With that being said, sometimes you just can't help it, and it's a big old internet, so apologies if that happens from time to time, but it's just something that is getting harder and harder to control with so many people deciding to stream. Nothing against them or their content or anything like that. There's just there's just only so many hours in the day. Alright, so just getting some of this gunk off that we're seeing on this chip. So definitely some solder on here, whether that was intentional or not. Not exactly sure. Just trying to get some of this crud away there. It is not fixed yet. How dare you? No, there's no schedule. I mean, especially for me, I just stream whenever I can, which, as of late, has not been too often, unfortunately. My schedule has been a little bit crazy, but the YouTube subscription tab usually tells you if people have an upcoming stream. That's if they plan it well ahead. I don't. I'm not one of those people. At most, I'll be like an hour beforehand. I'll be like, yeah, I got time. Talk to the wife. Be like, are you watching a movie? You doing your own thing? Is it all right if I do this? So, you know, whatevs. And she's like, usually like, yeah, fine. Go ahead. Yeah, ugh. It's just loose solder. It's probably bridging things, too. Not cool. Yeah, look at this. A little thread of a wire was going somewhere. Let's try and get that out of there. Here we go. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that was trying to connect the top to the bottom or what, but we'll do a continuity test just to make sure we didn't sever a connection that someone had previously repaired, but I don't know if that was the case. We'll see. Don't touch a 6100. You have to understand, the 6100s were the low-cost Power Mac when those systems debuted. You know, they really get a bad rap because they are slow, and they are. But it was Apple's lowest price point. And they were quite popular. My aunt had one. I still have her system. And it was just, you know, one of those systems that if you wanted an affordable Macintosh and you wanted a PowerPC one, that was, out of the gate, that was the cheapest one. And that's why it became to be a Performa and all this stuff. But, yeah. Oh, some dust hiding. How about that? How about that? Whoops. All right. Sorry. Where were we? We were over here. No, that's a different chip. Oh, that has crud on it too. Oh, lovely, 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 lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. First Power Mac was a Power Curve 120. Ooh, nice. Macintosh clone from Power Computing. One of my faves. One of my absolute faves. Yeah, all right. So what I wanted to do here was just do some continuity testing on this side. And I do this in my sleep, so I might have already done this. We're going to do it again. Yeah, I think I already did this. The muscle memory remembers, but my brain don't. All right, and those fuses look okay. Let's look at the back of the board real quick. Just to make sure there's nothing silly obvious going on here by this SCSI port. No little wires bridging anything. Just going to take a look with my own eyes. For once, let me look on you with my own eyes. Everything seemingly looks okay. Not seeing anything that stands out as, you know, a broken component or anything that's loose or anything like that. See, the power connector here looks good. Oftentimes, if you have power issues, you want to check this connector, make sure everything's reflowed, because that could sometimes have some stress on it, especially if people are unplugging and replugging things in. So this is the ROM slot. Looks okay. A few things are bent slightly, but I'm not seeing any... looks like someone did try and reflow this. Or it could just be the reflection. It's hard to tell sometimes. Yeah, that looks like a cracked solder joint right there, folks. Right there. See that? We can try and get a good picture of that one here. Textbook case here. You scoot it over just a little bit. Here we go. How about that? So not a big one, but enough evidence for me to go, you know what? I'm going to reflow the whole damn connector. All right, so let's turn on the soldering iron. There we go. About 50 people watching. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for joining. And we're going to put some solder on this connector so it reflow things. So it went up to, it had a snow date again today. Oh my goodness. No, Adam, we're not going to be heating the whole board to 480 degrees. You silly Billy. I mean, you could do that with your board if you'd like, but I don't think I'll be doing that anytime soon. No, thank you. Oh, and the little thing of alcohol I had went right on the floor, all over my feet. Get this paper towel and just wipe some of this up. Just a cement basement floor. Put it in the microwave. Yeah, no thanks. No thank you. Oh, no thank you. No thank you. All right, so let's get some fresh solder here. Only 29 likes. My goodness, smash the like thing. Do what you have to do. If you want to, I mean, honestly, you could like it, you could not like it. YouTube counts it as engagement either way. But I would appreciate it if you liked the video, if this is entertaining you, if I gave you a good tip, or if, you know, I'm just keeping you from being bored this, was it Wednesday? This Wednesday night. I'm just giving these a little bit of dab of new solder. Not like these are starved or anything like that. You clicked it twice. No, wait. That does. You have to click it an odd number of times. Now, just curious that the SCSI bus was not being happy. The fuses seem okay. I've had that before where an SE30 was giving no power to an external SCSI device like a blue SCSI. And it turned out the fuse was the cause. But we tested these fuses and they did seem okay. But well, as we progress, we'll see what happens. That's a big old piece of solder on there, but it should be fine. I was told there would be no math. Please. No math. Hurt brain. Brain hurt bad now. So I hope everyone is doing well today. Whatever time it is where you are, it is about 6:40 in the PM here in cloudy old New Jersey. I had a tornado watch in the area the other day. It was yesterday or so. Had a huge amount of storms just like whoop in and go whoosh, swoop in rather. Whoop in. I guess they could whoop if they want to. Yeah, terrible amount of wind and rain and all that fun stuff. It was really quite astonishing because it was a clear day. And then I got a notification on my phone. It says, tornado warning, seek shelter immediately. And I'm like, what? I looked outside and it was getting all dark. This was around 3:50 p.m., I believe. And I was like, oh my goodness. The last time we got a tornado warning, I looked on my phone because, you know, the texts come from the same place. And it was 2019. I was like, oh, geez. But yeah, huge amount of storms. I think one or two tornadoes did touch down briefly in other parts of New Jersey. We were lucky. We were okay. I don't think any casualties or anything. Just some minor property damage. But yeah, I mean, those storms were not messing around. Crazy lightning, very, very fast winds. And the storm was just, it blew through in like 30 minutes, not even. Probably like 20 minutes, something like that. You could just hear the lightning, the thunder, and just the wind and everything, and it was, you know, just moving quick. So All right. No, the laser writers are above me. So that would actually be bad if there were a storm. I would not hide under the laser writers. I think that's a death sentence. So, yeah. Oh, goodness. My goodness. A lot of snow, people are saying. Oh, goodness. Yeah. We haven't had any snowstorms or anything. Really? I mean, we had a dusting a few weeks ago. But, yeah, no snow. About 90. Oof. I would never subject a laser writer to that kind of weather. Oh, boy. All right. So, let's get the isopropyl alcohol that we spilled before. And let's spill it on the board here. And I do have a toothbrush somewhere. Where'd it go? Where did it go? Oh, God, the humanity. Here it is. Buried on my desk as it should be. Just clean all that flux off. All right. Those look a bit better. I mean, we went over each and every one, so hopefully if there were any solder joints, they have been resolved. Those bad solder joints, rather. I say we test again. Why the heck not? So what we've done so far is basically scraped away by the SCSI chip. I'm going to scrape away by the sound chip. There's some green here. Maybe that's why the sound is going, you know, like a strangled cat. I mean, this all looks suspect as well. Yeah, I mean, there's just some gunk here. I'm just going to give things a little bit of a cleaning. Alrighty, just in case anything was lingering around there. Oh, come on, Bruce. It's almost 7 p.m. here, so does that help you? Bad influences. We're all bad influences on Bruce, but we love him. Alright, so yeah, that I could actually probably hot glue that, but I don't know if that would help too much. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and test this again. Let me switch cameras. And we'll see what we get. I have a little extension for the speaker. That's another thing you have to keep in mind. If you are making an extension cable, you may need one for the speaker as well. Well, if you want to hear the sound, you definitely need one. It would help if I brought the ROM sim back over. Well, the ultrasonic cleaning would definitely help. But some of the crust you have to manually clean up on. All right, so that ROM is actually pretty snug in there. Let's connect our blue SCSI. Let's connect our keyboard. Yes, what the Apple would have named the Macintosh SEX, because they're naming acronyms for 030 processors on their Macs. Would have deemed that so. All right, still no startup chime. We did get the blue SCSI doing the blinkety blink blink. Cursor does move. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of crust by these chips, so who knows? Hey, Falcor, I have Spadesel? Okay, what is that? Tell me. Oh, boy. I guess it's a food. But thank you very much, Falcor, for the super chat. Eep! Where's the camera there? Eep! Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, this is still not happy. All right, so I'm going to hold it down. Ooh, we got some different pattern there. I let go of it. I should remain holding it. But it was slightly happy. Maybe. Or unhappy. Yeah, that's probably what it's doing, Bruce. Either I would assume a memory check or some type of sound check or something. You know what we should do? We should do run Snooper. Let me turn this off. But the SCSI bus not running, even on the Big Mess of Wires chip, is not a good sign. So let's undo that. Let's plug my ROM sim back in here. Okay, and let's plug in our floppy MU here because I do have some software on here. And let's see if this will boot up. I mean, I'm going to bet there's something weird, wonky with the sound check maybe. I don't know. It sounds weird, and there's crust on the board. So this might be one of those ultrasonically clean it and come back another day type streams. But yeah, this only has 8 megs though. So it's not going to take too long, to be honest. It's going to take about that long. I thought I had Snooper on here. There we go. Version 1 and 2. It's a very sick chime. It's not happy. Well, let's see what happens. If I go to the sound effects in the system menu. Well, see, that's the thing. It's not even booting. Well, it found the floppy. Yeah, let's see something here. Well, we don't even have a sound control panel. Let's use a Snooper, which is a diagnostics piece of software. I know you can't really see the screen too good. I'm sorry. But we're going to try. And this is going to test the CPU, the keyboard, the mouse, the RAM, the SCSI chip, and the floppy. I'm very curious what it says with the SCSI. Because we're not having any luck seeing SCSI devices, apparently. It says the bus isn't terminated, and that's a bunch of hooey. It's the old version of Snooper, that's right. No SCSI devices connected. So something is definitely wrong with something because it's not seeing the SCSI port or anything connected to it. It's claiming that it's not terminated when that's not the case. It's getting power to the device, though, so there is termination power. But something is weird. Hey, Trina, how's it going? It's not going to pass the modem or the printer port because we don't have those dongles installed for proper testing, but that's okay. No worries, Trina. Check the 5 volt. You know, that's... I will do that, Eric. I will. Just because this is a weird analog board, that's my testing system. But it has not been recapped. I'm stacking the deck here against my favorite. It's not happy. I think it froze up. Yep. It froze up testing the modem port. I wouldn't be surprised if there was something funny going on here on this system. But let's do this. Let's take out this here. Yeah. And then I do have a printed copy of it. Hold on. Hold on. Well, I did. I did have a printed copy of the excellent guide that Bruce has in his video. Bruce, feel free to put the link in the chat here. Bruce did an excellent video about checking the voltages of your vintage Macs. And I'm pretty sure I have a little book here. Let me switch the camera here. Pretty sure I printed it out. If not, the paper's on the floor somewhere. Yeah, here it is. So +5 should be the 6th pin. Let's get our multimeter here. And we're just going to stick this on the ground somewhere. And I'll get a paper clip here or some sort of metal thingamajig. Yeah, the 5th is from the left is the 6th, is pin 6 there. I'm just going to put in a paper clip there, and we're going to turn it on. Well, let's turn the multimeter on first. Yep, 5 volts on the dot. So I don't think that's the problem. Might as well test the rest while we're here. 12 is the 3rd pin, so that's positive 12 volts. Would be the 3rd pin there. We're getting 12.2. I know you could do it without turning it off. I'm just a wuss. And then we're going to do -12. Let's see if that shows up at all. Yep, no -12, which is interesting, but some Macs, for whatever reason that I've tested, just don't show that. Oh boy. Yes, it is failing on the serial check, and there's quite a lot of corrosive goo on this board. So we're going to check those out, Bruce. And yes, Bruce put in his video link there. Excellent resource. Have to give you back, no worries. Hey, Aaron fixed some of his Macs. That's excellent. All right, so let me put my notes back here so I do not lose them. I will, just not today. Oh, let's unplug this stuff here and take another look at what's going on. Now, the serial port controller, I believe that's this little Zilog fella right here. And that's got some crust around it too. So, I believe this is a revision B because the processor is not socketed. It is soldered on. So I believe that's a revision B. Hey Eric, how's it going? I am trying to get my streaming in before your stream, sir. Already plugged it before, but Eric from Eric's Edge is doing a stream later on, so be sure to check that out. Yeah, there's a lot of just crud on this board. Just like bleh. So I'm going to try and clean that up. I don't know, David. I have a great system of organization. How dare you, sir? Just do this from an angle. It's a little bit easier for me. Yeah, Eric put the iMac G4 base on his head, and I love it. It's absolutely beautiful. That's hilarious. All right, so we did some cleaning. Let's take a look, shall we? Under the microscope now. I was just cleaning so you didn't miss much. All right, so let's see what's going on here. Got a little bit of gunk there. I don't know if that was metal or... Yep, that was metal. It looked like it was bridging 2 pins, but what do I know? Now, Bruce, because you're the one who sternly told me I must stream. If you were having an issue of this system, what else besides this little Zilog chip would you be looking at? Obviously, I'm going to look at any parts that look corroded or anything, but just curious if you found any particular clues when it comes to serial, wow, cannot speak today, serial-related tomfoolery on the Macintosh SE 30. I know there is that draft guide floating around by our mutual friend. That is not yet public. We are testing a troubleshooting guide. But very curious to see how this chip, there's just so much green. I mean, it doesn't look like it's harming anything, but you never know. Just might want to ultrasonic this darn thing. $8 p.m. Okay, great. So thank you, Trina, for pointing out Eric's stream. I have an hour to make a fool out of myself before we have to jump ship, or at least before I get boring enough that people don't bother to stick around and could go to Eric's stream. Either way. Wow, this Mac 84 stream really went downhill at the 3rd hour. He's just spinning around in his chair going... These resistor packs look nice and healthy and green. Of course, I'm being sarcastic. That's not good. I mean, they seem to be making a connection, but there's also just a lot of little corrosive pieces on this board. And not, you know, enough for me to say, well, that's exactly where the problem is. But enough for me to question, like, what else is going on that I don't see? Because you never know. You never know. Well, thank you, Trina. Let's do a little look-see behind the serial ports. Might not be able to see them, but sometimes they're corroded or a pin's jumped or something. Hold on, let me adjust this here. I'm now hanging from the ceiling. Whee! Yeah, so this is what I'm taking a look at now. Not seeing anything there that would be cause for alarm. We have a much narrower view into this serial port here. But it looks okay to me. I don't see any corrosion, no pins that are pushed together or anything like that. So that's good. A great tip Bruce taught me was to look at things from an angle. Yeah, I mean, I'm not totally happy with how some of these pins appear to be sitting. I wouldn't be surprised if something just slightly is not making a connection. Or there's just gunk under something. Not right off the top, because my ultrasonic cleaner has like a 6100 computer sitting on top of it. So for me to ultrasonic things is kind of a process. I got to move everything around. Wait, Steve has crap piled on top of crap in his basement? Shocker. Yeah, I mean, that leg on the SCSI chip does not look good, but it is making a connection. It seemingly is, but... Oh yeah, there was that time where I was troubleshooting SCSI issues. And I believe it was one of these pins going to like here. And I had to follow the schematic. So that'll be something I might have to do. Is that a little solder ball? Yeah, there is solder in weird places on this board. Broken duo disc under it as a riser. Yeah, that's a good use. That's a good use of it. Yeah, I... Very curious what's going on here. I apologize if my chin is hitting the microphone. No, it's not good. Well, the microphone is kind of sideways. Hopefully that's okay. Hopefully you can still hear me. All right, and such. I like looking at it from above, and I see all the pass-through light. Once in a while, that'll prove something is weird. Like, well, that's a lot of solder there by the SCSI port. Let's do a bit of a test, huh? I didn't lick the board first. You know, I thought I forgot to do something. I mean, 2 pins of the SCSI connector have a thicker solder coat than others, but I'm not seeing it as a problem. Nothing appears to be shorted or anything like that. Saliva is important. I mean, these UE8, UF8, UG8 chips, they don't look, as Bruce would say, too crash hot. I can't say it as good as he does. He makes it sound fun. I make it sound like I'm like a crazy person trying to be hip with the cool kids. But I'm just going to reflow them a little bit. Oh yeah, you could tell this is very old solder because it's cracking. So these, ooh, and I smell capacitor goo. Oh, that's lovely. We'll probably have to whip all of these off. Then why are you poking at them, Steve? I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah. No, come back here, little solder ball. Come back. Come back. Come back, Zinc. Come back. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to take all these chips off. There's a lot of flux under here. It doesn't look like to me that anyone's taken these chips off. It just looks like there's just a general mess around them. Because the capacitor fluid usually like harms some of the traces under here. It doesn't look terrible, but it doesn't look, you know, the brightest. Everything kind of looks a bit dull. There's a ton of flux under this. Can't get around any software. No sound. Refuse to boot from the ROM. Also, to get that working. Oh, Steven, well, good luck, bud. Yeah, I mean, if you can't get to boot from a floppy, that's concerning. But if you have one of these, I assume you have one of these big mess of wires ROMs and it won't boot from it, that's concerning too. I would start by the ROM sim. Just see if you have to reflow that connector maybe, like I did before, earlier in this video. You never know. Sometimes it could be something as simple as that. I like simple fixes. They don't come to me though. I don't get those. It's been a long time since I there's a simple fix. Yeah, all of these will have to be redone. There's so much green around these sound chips too. I forget the individual purposes of these chips, but some of them are for video. Wouldn't be surprised if some aid some of the buffers or whatever for the serial connections, which may explain why we're having some weird serial issues, but I'm not 100% sure. I will have to check on that. Well, that trace doesn't look too good right there. There we go. That's why I like to clean things up. Some of this stuff brings itself to attention. Right, there we go. Right there. Right there. Cool older brother. Well, so, Bruce is my father, I think. I mean, I can't prove it, but he's my internet father at least. Let's see if I'd say that's probably still making a connection. Yeah, it doesn't look the best, but it's probably still making a connection. But it does beg the question, if that was affected, what is going on over here? Oh, everything is so green and delicious. So one of the things that I often tell people to do is start where the capacitors are and work on a radius around that. So this chip was obviously near it. I'm not seeing anything terrible except for this. Look at that little piece. I wonder if that was making a connection or not. Let's find out. See you later. Take care. Falcor, go to your room. All right, let's see here. It's still making a connection. I mean, it didn't look nice, but still making a connection. Of course. Oh, guacamole. Now I want nachos. You know, try to do a stream to entertain people, and then you get hungry. Just take a very careful look around these spots. I wouldn't be surprised if something is not connecting where it should. Yeah, here's another. Oh, here's another. So just little dark spots right before where it touches. Now, they could be nothing. Could just be the start of corrosion, but I'd feel better if I tested those theories, huh? Ah, and I dropped my scalpel. At least that time I didn't stab myself. Yeah, so here's where that capacitor is. I'm not seeing, besides the old solder, I'm not seeing any direct messing up of those pads. I mean, this is a bit weird how that's in there, but someone's recapped this before. And whenever someone's done work on this before, it's always like, okay, well, what did they find that I'm not seeing? You know, what are they seeing that I'm not seeing? So let's take a look around these caps here. This generally looks okay. Again, there's some gunk here. Don't even know if that's touching. But technically the SE30 will start up without the capacitors. It's interesting, it will. I won't be happy, but... Nachos for everyone. Sounds good. Somehow that's making a connection. I mean, this doesn't look good here. This is all black. And all looking corroded. That's why it's important when you recap these things, you also try and clean them. Because these two right here, there's all sorts of goo around them. So... Ugh, let's see what's going on here. Yeah, the vias don't look too good either. Let's check on the other side. Alright, so that's over there. Let's do a little check here. I'm sorry you can't see this. I am just trying to see what's going on here. If these vias are actually making their way through. Oh, it's below, not above. Ugh. Don't necessarily think it is. Let's see. It's hard to do this and see at the same time. So my apologies. Okay, that seems to be okay. All right, let's try this one. So that should be going here, but I'm not necessarily seeing it do that. No, it is. All right, well. Oh, boy. That's a noodle scratcher, ain't it? Let's take a look over here by the battery, because there is a capacitor over there. Yeah, we have some nice green. That's good. Oh, that's good. I mean, these diodes don't look too fun, but and I need to put a new blade on the scalpel. But when we did test it, somehow that was still making a connection, even though it's not critical to this. I mean, we have some green there. We have some more green here. And some of these vias don't look great, but I mean, I've seen worse. So very perplexing here. And we have about 66 people viewing, if the counter is correct. Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all do that fun stuff. Or not, you know, it's up to you. So I'm just taking a look at the capacitors, just making sure there's nothing fishy around any of them. I mean, that looks fishy. Is it this one or that one? I mean, they both look fishy, so. Only 57 likes. Well, if you are watching the video, I would appreciate you giving a like to it if you like what you see. If you don't, well, you can just keep it to yourself. There's a lot of flux on this board. And a lot of green crud. Look at this. There's some little like splashes of crud under this and little solder. Like this thing just needs a real good clean. I don't know what is going on here, but whatever it's going on, it's not happy. Not happy. All right, so let's test some things here. Let me swap the board around. Oh, well, just you can't please everybody. Let's just say that. Well, you can create another YouTube account and like it that way, but, you know, that's just getting technical. Well, those are apparently connecting. I mean, not like it looks like it is, but... Yeah, some of these videos are just so full of crud. I mean, transplanting to a new SE30 board is a whole process, and I haven't even done one myself. So I don't know how long it takes. I've seen others do it. But that's the type of thing, generally, where I'm not even going to do that for a client unless I spoke to them about that directly before, because that is sort of out of scope with what I was willing to put into this. That's a lot of time, a lot of effort. But I would like to try one of those projects. Yeah, that's not happy. It's always the smallest little places I'm trying to get my scalpel into. See, that is weird. See, it looks like it's making a connection. But then as soon as I go over the copper here, there we go. Maybe? I mean, I don't see, I mean, I see a little bit of corrosion, but come on. Come on. Beep. 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 Well, we're going to do a little repair then, because it's not happy beeping. And of course it has to be right where that capacitor is. Of course, why should it be easy? That cap wasn't really connected. I find a trend here. If I find this trend of this, then I'm going to recap the whole darn thing. I mean, that's... I used to get... I don't get too many emails anymore because I've sort of turned off my submission thing for repairs. I used to get so many messages like, oh, well, I already recapped it, so, you know, it should be cheaper for you. And I'm like, are you kidding? I'm going to charge you more. You know how many unknowns there are now? Because, like, I don't know, like, what you did to the system, what you thought you fixed or you might not have fixed, you know? There's not enough solder on this. I don't even know if that is making a connection. Well, we'll find out. I'll just touch these up a little bit. Might have to take them off anyway, but, I mean, yeah, like, these caps are very tight on these pads here, so it's very easy to get them in a spot in a way where they don't connect. Use more flux in that area, but let's see if any of that connectivity is better now, huh? Yeah, that's happier now. Believe that pin. That one goes there. This one, believe this here? No, because this pin goes down. Yeah, that's a different pad. Just talking to myself. There. Oh boy. Yeah, the old stupid multimeter. It's right here. I still use it. I don't miss cursing at it, I'll tell you that much. I'm gonna touch up some of these. I mean, it doesn't look the best there. We can do better. I mean, I'm gonna have to go through all this with a fine-tooth comb, but I forgot the flux because I'm an idiot. Yeah, looks like on this side it's not too happy either. Damn multimeter. Yeah, I'm gonna take this one off. That's that. Yeah, that's exactly what I suspected. Nah, unless the stuff unless stuff is like beyond repair, I don't break it. There's a lot of crud on that pad. I'm gonna let that cool down for a second. Sorry, I know it's very shiny. It's reflecting on here, but ugh, disgusting. Let's just try and clean this up a little bit while I'm here. Very slowly, because that pad is loose there. We don't want to cause too much trouble there. I'm not trying to grow anything, I assure you. Alright, so yeah, this capacitor is awfully big, and you'll see, if I could position it correctly, that there's very little give in the original way that it was put on, but we could solve that. Now, this has some goo on it from the rubber stopper that I had on my desk before for an old hard drive, but we could put this back on in a way where it won't dangle as much. It should be fine. There's nothing wrong with the part, so we might as well reuse it. Gonna make sure we have even space. This is not something that is really easy to do, especially if you're a beginner and you don't have magnification, because there's very little tolerances of extra space. So what I would recommend is sometimes getting the smaller caps. Again, you need some sort of magnification sometimes to help, but at least you do have a bit more space to work with. Right, so that looks fine. No worries, Bruce. I will shout your name as I normally do if I need direct input from you. Bruce, oh my god, I broke it. What do I do? Like that. So just keep an ear out for that. But good luck with your work. Hopefully it's not as bad as you think it is. It might be bad. Just let him not think about it. All right, I'm curious to just plug this in and try this again. We didn't fix too much. I mean, there was one trace that was definitely not happy on that capacitor. But yeah, let's try. That capacitor I just fussed with was C13, lucky number 13. So let's switch to the above cam here. And I'm going to plug in our blue SCSI friend again. Also going to plug in our super long keyboard cable. And in case the SCSI doesn't want to work, our floppy MU friend. And we're testing with the Big Mess Wires ROM sim. 3, 2, 1. Still a screaming startup, as we got before. But we do have power to the blue SCSI. We do have power to the floppy MU. Let's see what happens. I'm not going to let it start up from the ROM. I'm just going to see if it starts up from the SCSI device. Because this ROM does have a built-in volume, but I'm just going to let it go for a moment. It's thinking about it. We don't even get a question mark. Oh, there we go. All right, let's start up from... I have a snooper disk that is a copy of System 6 that is runs Snooper, and which is a diagnostic tool. I think it's Snooper version 2 and System 6. So let's see if that helps out. I'm going to try and zoom in with the camera a little bit. Let's see if that'll help a little bit. All right. All right, so let's test everything but the most important for now. I just want to see if the SCSI tests. We'll come back to everything else. So it's testing the memory here. Hey, Retro Techie, no worries. Hope you're doing well. Test failed. Ooh. Interesting. We'll have to try with different memory, see if that test goes away, that failure goes away. PRAM passed. Test failed. Excellent. Testing the CPU. Well, better working from home than working from unsafe conditions. That's no fun. The one thing this whole pandemic thing has taught us is people could be generally trusted to work from home. And if not, that doesn't spoil it for the rest of us. Alright, so let's test nothing but the printer port. No, I have to press stop first. Let's just test the printer port, see what happens. Handshake test failed. That's okay, keep going, don't freeze, please. Oh, yeah, it froze. Yeah, so there is something going on. Let's turn this off for a moment. Let's just take half the memory out of here. That didn't really feel like it was seated in. Well, let's just take everything out. Okay, so we're starting with half the memory. That's good to know, Eric. Booting from the floppy EMU again. This is a client's board, Trina. This is Ben's board, because I'm going to forget when I watch this stream inevitably in the future. I did put in the description. Oh, that's freaking weird. Did you see that? It was already booted up and it was asking to start up the RAM or the ROM disk. Something's a bit funky on this system. Let's try the RAM test again. Bus error. Yay! Yeah, I'm thinking there's a RAM problem. Or a bad connection somewhere. This was the memory that was provided by the customer. So let's undo this memory and let's put in what was in the second bank here. Because there are two sets here. Just overall looking at the slots, they look okay. And the individual said they did test the memory and such in a different machine, but you never know. So I'm going to test it again. Oh, Colin. Oh, yeah, I'm not looking forward to further diagnosing this system. I mean, yeah. Yeah. So this is a weird one, Colin. I don't know if you were here from the start. I didn't see you at the beginning, but it doesn't like what's connected to the SCSI port, although it is providing power to the SCSI port. If you try and launch a SCSI utility, half the time it will crash. And now we're getting memory issues when we try and do tests. No, Colin, we're going to change that. I trust you enough. I'm going to make you a moderator. So now you can put in the link. There you go, Colin. Hey, Sour Sage. After I'm done bashing my head against the wall with this repair, how many nights it'll take? Yours is next on the list there. All right, so let's do a RAM test again. And I'm sure it's going to fail. Yep, bus error. Whee! Colin can't be trusted. He's fine. Oh, it took away your little gray box. Now it's just a little check box. That's interesting. Yeah, because you're fancy. You have a lot of fancy followers and such. Maybe that's what the check mark is. I forget. Anywho, yay, memory errors. Yay. Praise be to the memory errors. Oh boy, do I have memory here that's tested already? No. I believe it's Colin with one L, but he could correct you in the chat. Let's see what else we got here. This is memory from 2CX. I think I had yeah, I had matching pairs. Hold on, let me put this keyboard down before I rip the mouse out of the thing there. I want to watch your struggle. Could you is there any kind things you could share that would end my suffering? I doubt it. I don't think that's the easy thing to do. All right, so let me just check. I do have some memory modules that are just sitting here on the bench that are in no organized fashion at all because I am terrible. Just curious if I could just scrounge up 4 matching memory modules and see if we get similar messages here. Oh, that's a nasty ROM sim. We'll put that over there. All right. Let's see what we got here. Steven, where did you put the parts? I don't know. Those are video memory modules. That doesn't help. I did get new memory modules, but they're 2 meg, and I need a matching set of 4, so that won't help. Let me check this little thing over here. Go through crazy amounts of troubleshooting, rework, then you finally make it to your wit's end, swap out the RAM modules, and another one suddenly work just fine. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, that sounds about like what I would go through. Yeah, so Colin, if you're not aware, the month of March is almost upon us, so we do Macintosh events. Now, I understand your pipeline of content might be a little further planned out far ahead, other than some of us, but basically we do content, we put the hashtag Macintosh on it, just try and get general awareness of the event and try and share the good word of Macintosh computers with everybody else. Obviously, you are under no obligation with your schedule or anything to do such things, but just making you aware of such an event exists. It's quite fun. And it's a great way for individuals to find out about other content, other channels, and stuff like that. Again, you might not necessarily have that issue that some of us lower subscription fellas have, but thought I'd mention it anyway. Looks like I have 4 matching pieces here. Why did these say 128K? That's not correct. It clearly says 1 meg on it. Well, we'll try this out anyway. Well, there you go. See, even if it's not named Macintosh, we will know that Colin is winking to us all with his Macintosh content. All right, so I'm taking out the memory modules that came with this system that the client had sent me. I'm going to put in my own memory modules just for funsies. I mean, there's a lot of strange things going on with this system. The sound is weird. The serial ports fail a test. SCSI isn't working. Memory issues. Probably some via or trace is just like kaput. But we'll try. Ugh, that chime is so unnerving. Oh, God. Well, just say Happy Macintosh at the beginning of the Apple II video. Savvy Sage, you'll be fine. Mikey, yeah. Consider it, please. And hey, Reed, I don't think I said hello to you before. How you doing? Let's boot from that same floppy. Overmodulated edition. Chime! Oh, yes, the video that Colin did, and he could put a link in the chat if you'd like, to the Sony Clie, or however you pronounce it, Palm Pilot PDA video, was fantastic. I always was jealous of those, because a friend of mine in high school had one. I had just a regular Palm, and he had one of those, and it was so cool. I think his was a flip-out one, but the ones that Colin showed in his video, I didn't even know those form factors existed. And my goodness, am I drooling over them. What the hell am I going to do with it? Just poke around with it if I had one, but oh my gosh, are those cool. I mean, just super cool. All right, let's see that bus error again. Yep. Right on schedule. That's... So, to me, that tells me that we're dealing with a bit more than just memory issues here. I'm going to try the standard ROM sim here. Again, no chime. So weird. And this is just going to stop at the cursor from what the client had told me, which is just so strange. I wouldn't be surprised if it's just one of these little chips, like the UJ4, UJ3, or something that is like sort of the, what is it, the muxing or the whatever for the memory. Would not be surprised at all if it's one of those chips is bad or something's not making a connection. And it's just making things unhappy. Now I'm just curious. I'm going to try with no memory, which, you know, the system should make some sad noises. But I'm very curious what would happen. Now I do have an Apple Tech Step. This might be a candidate for that because it does boot, but it does act wonky. Yeah, we get the garbled on the screen. I think it might be Tech Steps time. Tech Steps time. Yeah, I would assume there's something going on here with one of the chips here. I mean, I don't think we have to, you know, thinking about it rationally. The Tech Step I don't think is going to tell us anything new because actually, you know what? I'm gonna leave this on for a second and see what gets hot. I have my little thermal camera in my pocket. I brought it down here. And by God darn it, I'm going to use it. Because be curious to see if anything is getting warmer than it should. Oh, that's unnerving. Yes, we did check the power rails. Everything is getting sufficient power. Let me grab my phone here so I can open up the Fleur app. It might be something like that, Colin, because the Big Mess of Wires ROM, I guess, skips some checks. So it could very well be that. All right, so let's open up the little thermal camera app and see if we see anything. Yes, those, Bruce. Those lovely little fun chips. I'm not feeling anything hot, but it never hurts to take a look. Would help if I turned on the camera. Fixing motorcycles. That is something I know nothing about. But sounds neat. Come on, Mr. Camera. Please turn on. Please. Yeah, it does boot from the ROM, but this thing does skip some checks. Okay, let's take a look at this board here. Oh, these chips are getting quite warm. These are the UI6, UG6, UF6. I mean, a bit toasty. But none of the ones necessarily by the ROM are getting toasty. So let me shut this off. So yeah, let's check those ones that Bruce are mentioning, just for funsies. Because I didn't really do any in-depth inspections in that area. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. I'm just going to see if I could visually spot anything. There's a little hair there. And it could be that a chip has gone bad, but I would just suppose I'd have to replace things and just see on that one. But yeah, I mean, it's throwing a bus error whenever it does anything with the memory. Make sure we don't have any solder balls here by the FPU, though it did test okay, which is a good sign. So Bruce said UI2, UJ2, UI3, UJ3, UI4, UJ4. So 2 through 4, both the I's and the J. Yeah, so these are all those here. I have some crud on one, but it's nothing. Oh, you can't even see any of this stuff. Well, it's because I'm an idiot and I don't push the right button. I got too excited. But I'm not seeing anything necessarily wrong. And since there's not really any corrosion by here, I mean, yeah, chips could fail, but I'm not seeing any visual evidence of that yet. It could also be that there's simply a bad trace to one of them, so I'd have to break out the schematic and go from there, which is never fun, but often required with SE30s. I mean, we do have some green in the vias here, which is not helpful at all. But this might be one of those times where I just want to throw it in the ultrasonic cleaner and see if it comes out working miraculously. You never know. But these chips, I mean, to my eyes, look all okay. They could be crying on the inside, but yeah. Yeah, they do look pretty tidy. Now I'm going to look on the reverse here, just to see if I spot anything weird. I'm going to take the memory out first. I hate these little plastic clips. I'm getting a bit hungry. I had, you know, a early-ish dinner, but I only really had half of the meal because I'm like, oh, I'm not too hungry. I'll wait. Now I'm getting hungry again, so I'm going to go and finish that off in a little bit. I know Eric is streaming in about 9 minutes. I'm not going to try and overlap him for too much, if at all. Well, I didn't replace the caps yet. These all look fine. Okay, so let's turn this over. See, we're talking about nachos and now someone's getting Taco Bell. Enjoy. Alright, so let's just take a look here. This is the bottom of where the memory slots are on the right. Just want to see if... Yeah, I mean, we're having sound issues, we're having memory issues, we're having SCSI issues, we're having startup issues. The ROM muxes would be a good place to start, I would assume. And I reflowed all this. Yeah, there's some gunk there, but it should be okay. And it would explain why these RAM and ROM pieces work on another system, but not on this one. I'm not seeing anything that's calling out to me as far as something not connected or a mark or something like that that's scorched or anything. Alright, no worries, Eric. Sorry about that. But, yeah, I'm really feeling that this might be one of those ones where I have to bring out the schematic. And it's going to be very boring. And just try and figure that out. But, look at these from another angle. Sometimes that helps. I mean, they look tidy, but I'm just curious. Especially where these traces meet these chips. Sometimes it looks like it's connected, but it's not. Well, I'm gonna see if I where did I put that? Where did I put the tech step? Oh, there go my knees. Let's see. I have my tech step here. I'm just curious. So we have CPU tests volume 2. That's the LC2. This is the SE30. Perfect. Now, I do want to get the case for this because I do have all the wires and such in the case. Where are you? Where is that tech step case? Because I have 2 of them. Got it very cheaply, actually. I'm happy with that. But let me just take a brief look here, see if I can find it. I'm still plugged into the microphone, so I have to be careful about what I say. You can still hear me. It's not over there. It's not over there either. Well, I may have to continue this at a later time if I cannot find that particular thingamajig. I mean, I suppose I could get away with it without the bag. I would just have to source my own cables and shove a battery in there. Wait, is it? No. See, sometimes I just put things behind things to store them, and then they just out of sight, out of mind. And I'm like, oh God. The helmet of power. No worries, Eric. Yeah. I'm thinking I'm going to have to bring out the schematic and do some testing, because all this would tell me is, hey, you have a bad sound chip, you have bad memory, you have bad ROM. And, you know, to be honest, we know that those individual components are likely okay. But there's something on the board here. But it's just not happy. So, how long have we been going here for? Just over 2 hours. I think I'm going to put a bookend in it now, because there was something strange about those chips there. I think you could still get those today. I might actually have some. I'll have to check my parts. That'll be boring, so I'll do that offline. But this was the first attempt at Ben's board here. Interesting to note that we are getting those bus errors, and that we are getting the issue with the SCSI bus not operating, and the serial ports freeze when they're tested. So there's certainly something going on here. My guess would be in this region here. Because the original ROM chip is not being read by the system, one of those chips is either failed or a connection is just simply not happy there. Hold, please. Hold on a second. Just want to double check something. Yeah, see, this pin just looks a bit duller than the rest. There's a bit of corrosion on these pins. Look at that, just a little wee bit. Just a wee bit. It wouldn't surprise me if I mean, they looked good enough before, but you never know. Just the slightest, tiniest bit that's not making a connection, or an intermittent connection, you know. Yeah, I'm thinking not on the tech step, Bruce, because we know the individual components are okay. I don't know. I might, why wouldn't you globally rework everything that looks funny or crusty and clean it up? Because that's what the ultrasonic cleaner is for. We're going to slap it in the ultrasonic cleaner and let that clean all the stuff. Because otherwise I'm just spending hours upon hours upon hours just going through this thing. And systematically, I'm pretty sure of where the issue is. I mean, I've worked on enough SE30s where you get sort of a feeling of where there might be a problem. This is the first one in a long time where it's related to the ROM. Yes, SE30 time. So, well, apologies, Eric. I might just go on for a few more minutes more as I do this. Eric from Eric's Edge is starting his live stream soon. Eric, feel free to put the link here. I will do my best not to keep everyone too long. But I'm very curious if I could just figure out what's going on here. I mean, yeah, it's not pretty in here. There's some gunk and hairs and stuff, but that shouldn't really be causing it the weird issues that we're seeing. So the Tech Knight is in the chat here. Just an update of what we've been doing, what we've been seeing. So this SE30 will not boot from its normal ROM sim. It will boot from the Big Mess of Wires ROM sim. But we are getting, when we boot from that, we are getting no SCSI activity, although the SCSI lights come up on the blue SCSI, so we are getting termination power. Launching a SCSI utility often hangs the system. If we run an application like Snooper, we are getting bus errors whenever we do a memory check, depending on whenever it does that. And then we are also getting system freezes when it does the modem and serial port checks. So we're guessing that the error, or the issue here, let me hold the board up, is most likely around these muxes where the ROM is. So we cleaned that spot a bit on the ROM sim. We did reflow the back of it. I'm just curious if that will make any difference. Probably not. But let's give it one more try before we try wrapping this thing up. It is cursed. It is absolutely cursed. And I do have my tech step here. Maybe that's the last thing we'll do before we close out for the night. Just to see if, because that boots from SCSI. It bypasses the ROM. So who knows? But we will see. Let's figure this out. Let's plug in all the things here. Now I'm going to try the original ROM just for funsies. I doubt that's going to work this time, but you never know. It would also help if I flip this around like I had it before. Okay. Plug in our floppy MU. I'm going to use some of the customer's memory because they provided it, so why not? Oh boy. But please, everybody hop on to Eric's stream. If you have not subscribed to Eric's Edge, does an excellent channel, so please consider doing that. He's about to do a stream right now, and I'm running over the allotted time that I promised everyone, but I'm just curious if this will do anything different. All right, let's plug in our keyboard as well, just in case we get a little bit further, but I suspect we won't. Yeah, so we got no chime from the standard ROM here. We do get the ADB connectivity of the mouse moving around, but it never goes to anything here. It just sort of halts. Just sort of goes, hey, what am I supposed to do? And it just sort of sits there. It's not really happy. So if we turn this off and we switch ROMs, so I'm going to use the Big Mess of Wires ROM. And let's plug the SCSI drive back in just for fun. We get a horrible chime. Oh boy. Very horrible chime. I mean, the individual said they tested this ROM on another machine, so I am inclined to believe them, especially because we are seeing weird behavior on this machine. Spanning RAM, ROM, sound, and SCSI. So, I'm going to boot from the ROM disk of the system here. I don't think the bus error would have to do with the age. I think there's a component fault on this board. Either a trace or a chip or something has failed in such a way where we are getting a weird issue. Yeah, the chime was something. John's like, what the hell is that? I don't want to hear that chime in the middle of the night. No, thank you. While this happens, I'm just scooting around my eyes, seeing if I could remember where the hell I put my tech step here. Yes, it was a Happy Mac with a pirate patch. It was not battery bombed, Colin. That's the thing. So watch, if I launch SCSI probe here, the system is probably going to hang. Yeah, you just get the cursor. But sometimes it actually launches. Let's see if it actually does that. But I mean, from what I could see, it was not battery bombed. There seems to be some, via corrosion and stuff like that here and there, but not a lot of it. Yeah, that's not happy. Oh, like out of a horror movie. All right, if I were a tech step, so I remember putting everything in the bag and saying, I'm putting this out of the way so I won't trip on it. And I moved it somewhere. Oh, okay, let's boot up from that snooper emergency disk again. This is an interesting floppy that I found off eBay, or somebody sent it to me, I forget which. And I archived it on the Macintosh Garden. It's a very interesting version of Snooper version 2. And it combines a bare minimum version of System 6. And all it does is boot into this app. It won't let you do anything else in System 6. But it's nice because it boots up with the application that you usually test with things. So that's available on Macintosh Garden. I have uploaded that there for your usage. So we have this emergency disk here. Let's do none of the tests but the RAM again. I just want to see what's going to go. It's going to do a bus error again. Yep, there we go. There's the bus error we were all waiting for. All right, so let's shut this off. Give me one moment. The last thing I want to do is try and find that tech step. It must be just like hiding here. Just give me a moment, see if I could find it. Where the heck is the darn thing? You'd think it would be easy to find because it's in a big case and everything. Let me just check the other side of... No, it wouldn't be there, would it? Sorry, I'm talking to myself. That happens when you go crazy. Don't do it, kids. Don't get into Vintage Macs. It'll do your noggin in. It will. Oh, actually, I think it's in that bin up there. I think. No. Well, I thought it was. Well, we'll just use the one we have. Let me get a bunch of cables. This will probably be the last thing that we do tonight before we do anything else. Let me just find a appropriate SCSI cable. No, that's for a PowerBook. That won't do. Oh, this one will work, I think. No. No. Oh, boy. All right, just give me a moment, folks. Let me try and find where I put this lovely bunch of cables. And my microphone is wireless, so you get to hear all the crazy crap that I'm spewing out of my mouth as I dance around the basement. If my basement were organized, I wouldn't be as insane. That's a bunch of cables, but not the ones I need. Let's see. Oh, wait. I found it. Hey, how about that? I'm as surprised as you are. Hold, please. Move this box out of the way. Move this stack of Mac 512s out of the way. That's one. That's two. That's three. All right, now we're cooking with gas, folks. All right, here we go. You get crushed by falling back stuff. Oh boy. Flat organizational filing system. Damn right. Okay, here we go. This is my Apple Tech Step. And I am just very curious as to what it's going to tell us. Probably bupkis, but you never know. Let's move the microscope away. As you can see, there's a lot of cables inside. So I'm actually just stealing the cables from this. I'm not going to use that Tech Step unit unless we run into problems. But do have all the cables and goodness here. I'm going to put this under here. I'm going to use this one here. And let me set up some space here. So you can use it with the 9-volt battery. I found the power supply is quite more reliable though. So that's what I'm going to be using. And we're going to plug it in here. Yeah, this one doesn't want to work, huh? There it goes. ROM A, CPU tests, yes. We want the SE30. All right, so I'm going to put this down here for a moment. Now we're going to have to be fancy with our cable management, or lack thereof. Because the Tech Step requires, sorry, you can't really see, the Tech Step requires all these plugs come in, so we're going to have to do that. So we got an Apple II video cable. It's weird, but okay. We have some serial cables. No doubt that'll fail. Well, maybe it might not fail the test because this bypasses the. Well, does it bypass the ROM? I don't know. We'll find out. Let's just find out together. So we have two different serial ports here. I believe one of the ends is colored, the other is not. No. Okay, one has an Apple logo on it, the other does not. Okay, great. So this will be for the modem, I believe, is on the right. Somebody correct me. Well, let me look on the back of this case for this Mac Classic. Yeah, the modem is near the sound port. So, all right, that'll be for the modem. That'll be for the printer. So we're basically plugging all of these ports into this guy here. So the modem is the one with the Apple logo on it. The printer is the one with the little arrows on it. And then we need an ADB cable. I'm just going to steal the one from this keyboard because it's right here. And it actually does test both of the ADB ports, which is interesting. So I could actually use the other cable here. Might as well just use everything, but yeah, the Apple would just be like, yeah, we don't support that. Like, that thing is from 1989 or 87 rather. We don't. That's a no. All right, so now we have sound. I have to supply my own sound cable because this didn't come with one, but that's okay. So sound out and sound in. Last but not least, the SCSI cable. Oh, look at this honking SCSI cable. Now that's a SCSI cable. It's a nice Apple branded one. So this is the last ditch attempt for this. Otherwise we will have to continue in another stream. I mean, either way we'll have to. This is not going to fix anything. It's just going to help diagnose some things. Hopefully. Maybe. Possibly. Okay. So plug all those cables in. Let me switch the view here. And hopefully you could see that okay. I know, Trina. If you knew where my tech step was, we would have been 10 minutes early. So there. All right, so let's see. We need to power this on. So test mode. Please turn on CPU. SCSI termination missing. Terminate bus. Okay. So there is something going on there. CPU powered on. Initiating test manager mode via SCSI, which may or may not work. Oh boy. Yeah, it's usually faster than this. Oh, I wonder if I have to put the original ROM back in. SCSI or serial problem. Try manual TM entry. Okay. Back. Down. Down. Nope. Well, I guess we could do some manual test here. Let's test the ROM. Well, actually, no. Let's turn this off. I want to try with the original ROM here. Please power off. Okay. Please turn on. Okay. This thing has a lot of cables on the back of it. My goodness. That is a big mess of wires. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be happy. I just want to see if it passes any of the ROM memory or sound checks manually. And then we'll end the stream for now. Apologies for running over, but that's what happens sometimes. You got 60 people watching and they want to see the thing break or not. All right, so let's go back. Let's test the ROM. Start. Oh, yeah, it has to do the test mode. Let's see if we can test the oh. Yeah, see? It, please turn off CPU. Yeah, it's, there's something that's not happy here. Because not even the tech step is willing to, is getting it any further. No, the tech step was only for select 68K Macs, like the Classic, the SE, the LC, etc. Does not work with any Power Macs. Yeah, we did try that, Colin, and it didn't seem to make a difference, unfortunately. Yeah, SCSI or serial problem. I know tech step. I know. Well, let's continue. Oh. ROM checksum lost communication with UUT. Check prior UUT functions. Yeah. Let's try the RAM. Continue anyway. RAM size timed out. Yeah. Alright, well. It was worth a shot. I wanted to see what would happen. And if that would be able to tell us anything. But unfortunately, we know a little more than we did before. There is something wrong somewhere. And that is exactly where we are stumped. But we will try this again sometime soon. I have to go back and do some reading. There is a great troubleshooting guide that I'm helping to verify. Maybe that has some nuggets of joy in there. I might also have some of the spare chips there for the ROM mucks. So we'll see. Maybe I could replace some of those. I don't think I even have any spare SE30 boards anymore. I think they've all been parted out. But anyway. Do appreciate everyone stopping by. 60 or so people. Thank you very much for stopping by. Thank you, RetroFox and everybody here. Eric of Eric's Edge is streaming. I'm going to go follow him on his stream and watch as I have a snack. So thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for all the super chats, the likes, subscribes. There's something exciting happening this weekend. I can't share anything about it just yet. Excitement, that's all I'm going to say. And you'll see some posts from me on social media or on YouTube and stuff like that. So anywho, thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully, we'll get this machine working sometime soon, and we'll go from there. But thanks a lot. Take care, and bye. Oh, I have to push the button, don't I?